Okay, we got the show. Now, the title isn't misleading. It was a Christmas show. But compared to what the main roster does, it was a bit different. They did try to give a little bit of shock and awe. More shock than anything else. But this show mainly was setting up for New Year's Evil. That's what it's mainly for. That's what this is. Yes, we got a couple of things in the matches and in the backstage segments. Yes, but don't get it twisted. This is still a New Year's Evil setup show. That's what this is for. It's not really spectacular. Opening, Soruka versus Izzy Dane. Now, Izzy had just Shawn Spears with her because Nico is gone. I didn't believe any of it. Let's make it very clear. We didn't see Nico be taken away. He was just gone. And that was the problem for me. Why would I believe that Tatum Paxley could take him out, make him leave, or not come up? Well, they answered that because during the match, when you know that Shawn was going to interfere in that match and let Izzy win because she didn't, it wasn't like she was losing, but Shawn was going to help out. But then we heard noise, and then we saw where they normally would get thrown through the panel that's right next to commentary, something got cut up, and it was a chainsaw. The chain wasn't moving, but the thing sounded like a chainsaw. And it was Tatum's. And I don't remember them ever doing that on NXT before, or on the main roster for that matter. A little bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacres. I will say that was different. And we did get something to show that Tatum would do whatever it takes to get Izzy by herself. So we don't know what Nico had to go through. But Shawn was scared to fuck off with that damn chainsaw, which was okay. A nice sound. Wasn't a bad sound from that fake chainsaw. And in the end, Lola won. But after Lola won, she gets her ass handed to her by Kiana Jordan. And since they're having this feud, because Kiani got kicked out of the NXT title, well, not title. I think the reason I botched here is this situation. What are we going to get with Lola Vice and with a little bit of Miss Jordan? An ending. Hopefully. A final ending where one of them is going on to the main roster and the other one is staying behind. Because that's what it's coming down to. They need to set these two up for one of them to go to the main roster. I don't see them both going. Obviously, one of them has to. And it's got to either be Kiana Jordan or Lola Vice. Question is, which one are they going to finally call up? But I will say at least seeing Tatum with a chainsaw at least explains what she had to do to Nico. Fine with that. Next match. Eli Knight versus Tavion Heights. Knight and Heights. Do I care? Oh, and just in case you're hearing it departing upstairs, so sorry if it's loud. But let me give it to you like this. A Raw wrestler shows up, maybe from Platinum. I don't know which one he's from. But he had a shot to be on the main roster. Now, I understand he was on the main roster NXT for a moment. Now, he did show up in Evolve because it did show a settings of him on Evolve because he went from Reality Wrestling to Evolve and now he's getting his first shot on NXT, which was fine. I'm okay with that. I didn't expect him to win. I didn't. Now, was he impressive? As a high flyer, he was okay. I'm not going to tell you that he was incredibly impressive. To be honest, he feels like a Devon Evans replacement. Because we already know Devon Evans is now becoming a free agent and he has the opportunity to go either to SmackDown or Raw. I do believe he'll go to Raw and not go to SmackDown because of all the high moments that he had, particularly with Leon Slater on TNA. So I do believe he will be heading to Raw. He won't be going to SmackDown. I don't think so. But when you look at Tavion Heights' match with him, it was fine. It wasn't a bad match. But it really didn't matter. Because it was just a small taste of what Eli Knight was going to be. Next, The mixed tag. The two LFG, well, Shiloh and Ren. They got a lot of work to do. Now, I'm not going to tell you that Shiloh Hill isn't interesting because he actually is. Now, Sky Ray, I believe she's calling herself. Or, I think Ray. Can't remember right now. Seeing her on the main roster, it's going to take a little time for me to see what she can really do as a character. Because she can work. I've seen at least a couple of snippets of her. Not snippets, but I did see maybe 1 or 2 episodes of LFG for season 2. I did see her. So she looks like she can wrestle. But the question is, can she hold a character? Because as it stands now, so far, we've had Tyra Steels, who has no character. None. When you look at Troy, he has his strength as his character, but he still has no character. Now, when you look at Shiloh Hill, he has character. But when I look at Sky, I don't see no character. They got a lot of work to do with these people. It's like Kendall Gray. There is no character. There's nothing there. All these people feel completely blank because they have no character whatsoever. They're only wrestling orientated. And one of the major issues that you have in these situations, when it's only wrestling that your character covers, you get boring very, very quickly. So I don't feel anything from her. Now, when you see Stax and Ariana Grace, you got character. Especially after what just happened last week when Ariana Gray nutted her own dad. Well, kicked him and not nutted him. I take that back. Kicked him in the gonads. I'm sorry, I have to be specific because that makes it sound like she fucked her dad. But essentially, she kicked her dad in the nuts. And now the feud between Stax, her, and her dad is going on. Like, the question's going to be, what are we going to get with that feud? What are we getting? How are they going to get revenge? I don't know. But this was a feel-good moment for LFG. Because when you see Sky and Shiloh, that they won it. It wasn't a bad match. I'm not going to tell you it was a bad match. It was all right. It was fine. But seeing that the only reason we had this was for a good feel moment for the faces. And the thing that gets me is that Stax is in a storyline that would really be helpful, not just to TNA, but NXT. But he had to lose here. And I didn't like it. Okay. The second Speed title, and I didn't even talk about the first one when it came to Eli Knight with Tavion Heights. That's a Speed title match. Well, not Speed title match. Yeah. The reason I'm botching here is because I don't care about the Speed tournaments. There's another set of Speed tournaments. It's boring for me. I'm sorry, it is. I don't care about the Speed title, and I don't care about the Speed tournament. And yes, Eli Knight and Tavion Heights did a good job. I'm not saying they did bad, but I didn't care. Tavion won, but do I care about the Speed tournament? No. So when I look at the Speed tournament here, I don't care either. I don't. Andre Chase, I don't care about Andre. Now, supposedly he got a broken nose, but I don't care about Andre. I don't care about... Lexus King is someone I actually like. I know he can wrestle. He's got character. He's already worked in TNA now because he was doing the outsider or outlaw bit. But now he's in a Speed tournament? Why are you putting him in this? I just don't understand. Just as a match. And he won it, but do I actually care about him being a Speed tournament winner? And he's going to go up against Jasper Troy? No, I don't care about it. And I don't want to see him as in this situation, but this is what we got. Now, let's get this over with the last match. Soruka versus a Chelsea Green. for the North American Championship. Well, not North American, the U.S. Champion. Was it? No. U.S. Championship. I'm sorry, I got the North American U.S. Champion because of Thea Hale, and I'll get to that in a minute. But let me give it to you like this. I didn't really care because I knew Seoul wasn't going to win. I knew one or two things had to happen. Either Chelsea was going to win, or because of what supposedly is supposed to happen already, that is Soruka, and why are they not pulling the trigger on Zarya and Soruka? I don't understand. Because they keep teasing Zarya getting upset that Sol keeps reminding everyone, including her, she lost her titles because she couldn't defend them, and it made her upset that it was Zarya who couldn't get the job done. And I don't get it. But here, they're still together. There was no cheating from, well, not cheating, but essentially there was a whole bunch of cheating from when it came to Alba Fire and the Ethan Page, of course. Moose came in and screwed with Ethan because they're going to have their match next week. But it's like, do I care about this? No. Because let's make it clear, if you keep teasing these two are supposed to break up and fight one another, why are you not getting it over with finally? If it's not done in New Year's Evil, if they're not going to pull a final one, like the last hour of New Year's Evil where Zarya finally turns on Soruka, this was just a waste of fucking time. I'm sorry. You keep teasing Zarya getting upset that Sol keeps saying openly, I couldn't defend my title. I couldn't keep them. And Zarya is getting upset because she tried to do it. She tried to defend the honor of her friend. And none of it got there. And instead of her friend just leaving it alone, she keeps repeating it over and over again that she can't get that damn titles out of her mind because she couldn't defend them because her friend couldn't do it for her. And her friend screwed her over because she flew into town one of the matches. That's the way it looks. And if they don't pull the trigger, this is stupid. Now, let's get to... Let me give it to you like this. Obafemi with Leon Slater. Was it very impactful? No. Was it simple? Yes. Did I like it? Yeah, it wasn't something that needed to be complicated. Oba said what he needed to say. Look, when he was interviewed, along with Leon, he made it clear, I made this my own. For nearly 9 months, I believe, I had been champ. No, 7 months, I was champ. Yes, I lost. And I corrected my mistake. And I am the ruler again. I'm the best. And then Leon, where his backstory was coming in, how he loved wrestling. But he didn't say loved TNA wrestling. He had to just say love wrestling because they don't want to start sponsoring TNA in their own segment. They don't want to do that. Look, they're being nice to TNA, WWE, but does not mean they're going to let that pass into that segment. It is about NXT and NXT only. And he made it very clear, Leon Slater. He said, look, I'm not like you, man. I let my work in the ring speak for me. I don't like the trash talk. I understand you. But for me, I'm just going to show it. And let's just prove it. And they shook hands, staring each other down, which is fine. It did what it needed to do. It was simple and direct. Now, Thea Hale's segment. Here's where it's a little interesting. We know now, because I knew it, that was not supposed to happen. Thea was not meant to win that title. It was a mistake, a botch. Now, I could have made my title of this video, Can a Botch Make a Great Story? And I was considering it. But I'm going to leave that for next week. Because the big question is going to be, how far they're going to go with this with Thea Hale. Because, as I said last week when Thea won it, when you look at how WWE for this last year have acted when there was some type of controversy, they basically brushed it off. When they know the wrestler could not get their arm up because they either got fatigued or stunned a lot more, They tried to say the wrestler, yeah, and everybody in that arena, no matter which arena it was getting pissed off because they know they won it, and the person could not get their arm up, and instead of WWE going with it, they said, no, we're not doing that. Here they did. And now the question is, can Thea pull this off? Now, what did she act like when she got in that ring and started talking? Because after talking to Jordan Grace, who watched it 100 times and said, you did win it, and that's trying to acknowledge, okay, Blake Monroe screwed up because she couldn't answer it. She got stunned because Thea landed right on her titties and her sternum and stunned her, and she could not raise her arm. We know it. It's fine. We're going to do something with what we got. Thea came out and tried to give the most emotional promo she's ever done. And I gotta honestly say, most of it worked. She did overact it a little bit. Let's make it clear. There was real emotion. Let's be honest. It was real emotion last week because she did not expect to win because she was slated not to win. We know this. She was supposed to go through Blake and lose. She won it, and she legitimately started crying because she didn't expect to win. And on top of that, she got in trouble for it because of that move. But here, there was no lie. That was an emotional thing because legitimately not many people care about Thea. Even though she went through Chase U, she became a grown-ass woman working with Fatal Influence. Yes, there's been a lot since she was there at the age of 18. Now she's 22. She's worked there for many years. This might be the best segment she's ever done. The best. Not because she was so emotional she looked like she wanted to cry. It's because she was given an opportunity because of a mistake to try and prove that she deserves to stay on the roster. That girl could be cut next year. She could be cut as flat out and as simple as possible. Next year, Thea could be gone. So this might have been the best chance she had to prove to them, look, I can do this. Then we get Blake Monroe coming out and making very clear that was a fluke. She wants a title, and at New Year's Evil, she is going to give her a shot because that's what she wanted. And yes, Thea made it very clear. If you were the one that was in my place, you wouldn't give anybody opportunity. But I'm going to give it to you New Year's Eve. And she said, don't patronize me. And that is a Blake Monroe. Whacked her straight to the face, either with a fist or her forearm. And they just started fighting. And the screaming, because I could hear Blake screaming. A lot of guys would love to hear Blake screaming, but not in that way. Or women too. But now we have a situation where this is completely uncharted. This is the only thing on the show, and I'm telling you the truth, guys. The only thing. This is the only thing on the show that was interesting. Not because everything was trash. It's just we know this is a Christmas show. Look what happened with the LFG, look, Shiloh and Sky. That was a street fight. That's what that was. When it came to not Chelsea. I'm guessing the reason why I'm botching here is this was an average show. That's what it was. There was only two things on the show that was uncharted. And well, one of them really was uncharted. The other one was a big question. Could it work other than a mistake? Because that's two things. But everything else was pretty much average. But here's the thing. Devon Evans and Ricky Saints is the other compared to Thea Hale and Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe and Thea Hale, that was an accident, a botch last week that led us here to uncharted territory of will they actually try to do something with Thea, with Blake in a different direction, and can it work? Here, Devon Evans is not about if it was an accident. They purposely pushed Devon Evans in this situation where they're ready to put him to the main roster. They want to see what he can do. So they're now done this with a Ricky Saints. And let me make it very, very clear. His segment, his Did he do well with it? I'm going to say, yes, he did all right. I can tell you this. Last year, if you said Devon Evans was going to have this moment where he's going to probably go to the main roster, I would not believe you because he was not developed enough to do it. And this year, he has been given so many opportunities to make himself viable for the main roster that I can say now that, is he ready? Not completely. No. His wrestling skill as a high flyer is fine. It's not much different than Eli Knight, or I'm being honest here. Eli Knight looked a lot like Devon Evans. That is the replacement for Devon Evans, Eli Knight. That's what you got. Then you look at Leon Slater, who is not much different than him, but he had more charisma than him. That's not a lie. That is the truth. When you look at Leon and you look at Devon, there was a stark difference in charisma and the ability to talk. Because you can speak fluently, but it doesn't mean you have the charisma to make it work. And when it came to Evans, he did not have it. Now he's had a lot of development with so many different people, particularly Ethan Page, Randy Orton. When it came to now Ricky Saints, Obafemi, Trick Williams, he's worked with people for quite a while, and that has finally given development enough that he can be in the spot. Do I believe he's done great with it? He's done good, but not great. We won't know if he's going to work until we get to the main roster and how they're going to book him, counting if they book him right. So him talking was fine. And when it comes to Ricky Saints, Ricky is Ricky. He talks so good. That boy can talk. He was great in the AEW. He's great here. The question is, what does this really mean for Ricky after Tuesday? After New Year's Evil? I think it's New Year's Evil. No, sorry. The next show, next week, and then New Year's Evil. That's going to be the big question. What is it going to be? Unless it is this, I can't remember. I'm just saying that Ricky Saints, big question is what are they going to do with him? Do they believe he's going to be ready for the main roster next year, or are they going to keep an extra year going in 2027? I just don't know. This was not a bad show, and I hope you enjoyed this review of NXT. Please give me a comment below. I will do a video tomorrow. I don't believe I'll have a problem. But will it be a good show? I don't know about AEW. But we'll find out. Peace.